Welcome to a new episode of the What's Talk. This episode, we will be talking about our weekly wrap up, just like the usual, about my race in Coimbra and how it went, about injuries, and about the new start of the World Tour season of racing.
Finally. Okay, so let me start with my wrap up because yours is different, more interesting this week.
Well, that's questionable.
Yeah, well, it's different. Yeah, this week it's been a mess. In Girona, the weather's been really bad. There's some sort of storm going on, and it's not that's raining too much, but it's just raining enough, so that's everything's really wet and cold. Feels like we're in Belgium. But still, from Tuesday to Thursday, I was able to go out and just on Thursday I did BO2 as usual. We extended with a friend. Just as I've been saying this last week, just super easy, like nothing out of the box. Just I mean, it's a lot of hours, but still, I my RP for the times that was not doing the BO2 intervals, it was just closer to one as possible. And same for Wednesday and Thursday, like despite doing 8 hours, uh, taking into account the 2 days, it was just super easy. Um, so yeah, and on to Friday, we decided to switch the workouts from Thursday to Friday so that I could go out
Yeah,
on Thursday. And on Friday, I had two intervals of 30 minutes indoors, and because it's what I usually do for DT, and there was no way I was gonna do that. But somehow, I managed to do 1 hour nonstop at sweet spot. I think that if I had stopped, I would have been not able to do the second interval. Like just mentally, I just needed to just keep going. Otherwise, there was no way I was like seeing 30 minutes now, 35, then 40. I think it would, mentally would have been easier for me than seeing again 5, then 10, then 15 to go. So yeah, and I ended up doing really good numbers for an hour. And surprisingly, despite being indoor, I think it was not even close to a max effort. Like, and that's really satisfying for me because it was around 340 for an hour. Um, and I would have been able to keep going at least for 30 to 45 more minutes.
that's
So that,
really good.
yeah, it's really interesting because usually like I suffer a lot on the indoor trainer. I've told you that many times, and I always record it with the pedals and also with the trainer just in case there's any difference, but they were
Was there
equal.
any difference?
No, not
No?
really.
Good to know.
Yeah. And for the weekend, today I wasn't able to train, and tomorrow it doesn't seem like the weather will help, so most likely I'll do some like easy indoor, just an hour and a half, just to spin the legs. So yeah, not the best week, but I mean, a really good week.
You had two really good workouts.
Yeah, that's true. But aside from that, it's a bit of a shit that we're not able to enjoy just decent weather and it's all rainy. But yeah, like happy for the two hard workouts, and as I keep been saying this last week, just taking it easier has been helping me to recover a lot, physically speaking. And yeah, that's how I want to keep it. And not until I feel like I'm just capable enough to start pushing it a bit more, or do you tell me now it's time for you to just go harder? So yeah, really happy with that. I don't know if you've got anything to say.
No, I think it was a really good week actually. Not
Mm-hmm.
that bad. You had basically two workouts where it was Smash Fest,
Mm. Yeah.
where you went really hard, considering the first VO2 session, which also had a lot of endurance. You
Mm.
ended up doing
5 hours.
more than 5 hours. And the second one doing your normal TT watts for 1 hour,
Yeah.
but not in a TT position.
Mm.
Yeah. So that means the watts are still there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes. Since last week we didn't do a wrap up. There was an event on Friday that I did with the TT.
Oh, yes.
That was I was fully recovered. Not fully recovered, but it was my easy week, and it was a good session to test like what would be on a close to fresh state. And I was able to do way more than I usually do on my TT workouts, and that was also a good um, indicator or something that kept my motivation up with the TT, because it's been really hard for me to see the watts, and I did 340 for nearly 25 minutes before starting the descent. And then there were a lot of cars, and because it's not a close road event, I wasn't able to
Yeah,
push, so I had to stay behind the cars. But honestly, I felt really good. I was also able to go really fast, and it was on a small climb here in Girona. So yeah, I think it's the fact that I'm taking things easier and I'm being able to push a lot on the VO2. I think it's helping me a lot.
yeah. And uh, three 335 normalized for the entire effort, considering you also had a descent. That's
Hmm.
really good.
Yes.
That's really, really good. The speed was also there.
Hmm.
You went with a disc wheel.
Yes.
How did it feel? Was it different than your normal
So
80 millimeter?
I did like 35 minutes before I went to the place where the event started,
Yeah.
and I was trying to think like if I was feeling anything different. I think it felt different, but I don't really know what it was. It's true that it feels like, especially when you're you have like cruise control and you're
Yeah.
just going, and that moment it's like you feel a lot like the bike goes faster. I don't know how to explain it. It
Did you have any wind, either for the warm
uh
up or the
yeah, but I don't know which
where you could
way.
feel the disc wheel?
You've told me many times that when you have crosswind, you feel like it pushes you like
Yeah,
from the
both
side.
crosswinds.
Probably I was a bit too nervous about
Yeah.
the session, so I didn't really realize that many things. But I do felt like it was harder to maneuver on some very close turns. It felt like it doesn't have as much, like something was blocking
Yeah.
when you want to turn really, like if you go compare a TT with a road bike, you already feel a lot of difference with the movement and the, like you just grab the bike and from left to right, super easy. And the TT it's already harder. And I did feel with the this wheel that it was even harder than usually. And just at the end of the segment, it's a straight one. It's a really straight line, and there were barely any cars, and I did feel like I was going faster than my usual for the watts I was doing. So I was over 50. I think I had good win, but I was doing like
I think we can check that.
360.
So,
It's just the last part. You see where the power is really high.
yeah, but that's actually headwind based on the intervals data.
So small yaw angle, it's headwind.
It's actually headwind, but yeah, it's a small
Okay,
yaw angle. But considering you were going that fast, it's close to zero.
okay.
The
So
yaw.
yeah, you see, I was doing 46, and towards the end it was over 50. So yeah, definitely that's not my usual speed.
It's also slightly,
Is it?
yes,
Ah, yes, I see it on the profile. Yes. Hmm. So yeah, I think it was a combination of everything.
yeah.
If I go out and I try one and then just afterwards the other wheel, so I do the same effort with a regular wheel and then with this wheel, probably I'll be able to feel more the difference. But it had been 4 days since I had used the TT, so not really. But yeah, like the power is coming, and for my motivation, it's helping a lot. Um, so yeah, just happy that the numbers are there, and yeah, like in 2 3 months I'll be even stronger. So yeah, I'm gonna be fine. Now I'm more in peace with myself,
Yeah, I told you the watts are there. You just have to wait a bit.
and I think I wasn't resting enough, so that was
Also
not bad.
that, but it's also part of the loading strategy.
Can you explain a bit more? What do you
So
mean?
loading your body enough in order to obtain stress
Hmm.
and to obtain the adaptation that you want.
But do you think that um, before, let's say from October to December, do you think I was pushing myself a bit too much, especially on the zone two rides? Don't you think that reducing that intensity in those rides, but keeping the volume has helped me recover?
It has helped you recover, but also doing that in the early stages of the season, it helped you boost your fitness
Okay.
afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
But now you're just also recovering. That's why you are also performing better.
Okay. Yeah, like after the altitude camp, I'm gonna do the 20 minutes over 400. That's
And with a bit of HIIT training as
yeah,
well.
yeah, it's gonna be. I'll have to go and do mambo sessions because I was sweating a lot. So yeah, just really, really happy with the TT. I would have liked to be able to do the workout with a disc wheel, but now my goal, now that I've been able to do one solid 35-minute effort, which was last week, I want to be able to do the two efforts. So doing one slightly easier, resting, and then doing the 30 minutes again, just with
Yeah.
everything I have left. I think that's my next goal for the workouts that you put me. I don't care about the what, it's just doing the two intervals. We'll see what the numbers are and just keeping the speed and seeing how it goes. Because in the end, I think I'm going decently fast despite my equipment. That's just the bike and the bike is the main difference. My position is also really good.
Yes.
And also now with the disc wheel and when I have the helmet and then the skin suit, I think that's just a lot of improvement that I can add on the speed and my position. So
Yeah, we'll see that in aero testing.
good,
We'll test your CDA
good, good.
to do a good estimation
Mm,
for your main event. And based on everything, we can decide on
mm.
gearing, as well as equipment choices.
Because in this next Sunday it will be exactly April, May, June, 3 months until the event.
3 months.
Mm.
Okay.
With one event in between, the one in France.
Yeah.
And from there it's just
That will be also good effort for you
mhm,
in terms of power,
mhm.
not necessarily in terms of uh, position. You will focus more on power than on the position
Well, it's a climbing.
because now you're doing a lot of position
Mhm.
training.
Okay. We'll see what the parkour of Catalonia is. I'm checking the page on a weekly basis, and
Ah,
now there's a small map.
yeah.
It says it's in Lleida,
Oh, so it
so
might be the
maybe the
same.
same. Hmm.
That's good for you.
The parkour is it's good
Yeah.
for me, you think?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's a good. You have the watts.
Okay. I think that the only like after this event from Friday, I think that the only thing I wouldn't be comfortable with would be just up, down, up, down, up, down.
It's not that technical.
No, but I meant for me, like that would kill me. Like just pushing a lot, then just recovering, then pushing a lot. And like this Friday, it was flat, partially flat, then just up, but constant up, and then well, descending and flat again.
Yeah.
That is, you either go one way or it's not a combination of
Yeah.
like a roller coaster. So that's
You will have two small hills and one that's longer if it's the same route.
okay. Well, we'll check. It's not.
But still, most of it's flat, and you
Great.
have a big advantage there.
You know what was also flat? Coimbra.
Yeah, true. Well, it was really flat. So flat that I thought I can corner at 50k an hour.
Yeah, explain. Tell me what happened. You didn't tell me.
So I started the race, and 800 meters into the race, there was,
You did the recon. You did everything.
yeah, I did on Friday the recon, and because the streets were not closed, it was open.
Mm-hmm.
It was only the start and the finish which was closed. But right after that, there's the roundabout.
Okay.
And the roundabout was not closed. It was open because the cars, there was traffic.
Mhm.
After that, there's one more small roundabout, and then it's just flat and straight with
Okay.
no turns, nothing.
Mhm.
Then a U-turn, and then all the way back the same route. But when I did the recon, the roundabout is you actually go the first roundabout, the big one, you actually go only on one side of the roundabout because it's like 200 meters type of roundabout. You have to go around a lot
Okay.
to do the entire thing.
Yes.
So when I did the recon, I thought that the ride is gonna be like that. So you have to do the entire
Okay.
roundabout.
Yes.
But for the race, they modified.
Okay. So
So
that you
they
can go
split.
straight.
Yeah, they split the entire roundabout in two ways, basically,
Mhm.
when you go and when you come
Mhm.
back. And that added into the roundabout, it added a turn.
Mhm.
Before the turn, there was a bit of gravel and some bad tarmac.
Mm.
Um, and in my head, I was like, I'm gonna take that roundabout in the aero bars.
But you were already aware of the gravel.
Yeah, and I knew the gravel, but I chose the race line that I could cut the corner as
Mhm.
much as possible.
Mhm.
So I looked at my Garmin. I was doing like 500 watts before the corner.
Mhm.
I was hitting 50 something. And right before, uh, I I stopped pedaling. I soft pedal
Mhm.
and but stayed in the aero bars. And halfway into the corner, I realized, this is not gonna work because I
Yes.
have no exit
Yes.
because it was a turn.
Mhm.
So I ended up going in the base bar, and then I think I braked just a bit because my Garmin stopped at 46 or 47 k an
Okay.
hour, and I went right into the last metal fence. So last metal barrier. So if I had like 2k per hour, I was slower, I think I could have cut it because it was exactly the last one.
Mm.
So I cornered. I don't remember how I fall, but yeah, I think I went in the base bar. I went with my
Yeah.
hand right into the metal
Yeah.
fence, and that's when I broke my hand.
So
But
so basically you just smashed the
yeah,
fence and just fell on the other side.
I don't remember how I crashed afterwards.
Okay.
I don't know if I went over the metal fence or I just remember
And aside from what I see in your hand, do you have any other scratches?
yeah, my
Okay.
entire left
Vale.
side
So
is,
it's
yeah,
vale.
like on the shoulder, on the back, here, on the hip as well, on the glute, on
Mhm.
the quad as well, knee.
Wow.
A bit, the ankle was swollen, but that's nothing.
Yeah, compared to the hand. Yeah, I'm really sorry.
But right after I crashed, I began to touch my clavicle to see if I can walk. I was like, no clavicle, I
Yeah.
can walk, no knees. The wrist was fine. I was like, I'm lucky.
Yeah.
And then I tried to move my fingers, and one of them, I just couldn't move it, and it was like really,
So you couldn't move the forefinger.
yeah, like it was pretty
Was it
bad.
painful?
Yeah.
Hmm.
But then I managed to get on the bike to go to the finish line. I
So
didn't do the no, no, no.
vale, okay.
I just went with a moto behind the finish line,
Hmm.
and
So
uh,
you did the fastest.
yeah, basically I think I was the fastest that day. But yeah, if I went through the
Yeah.
finish line, I would have won for
Nah.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really sorry to hear about the crash, and especially you weren't even able to train, like to race, like for what, 1K, 5 minutes?
No, that was not 5 minutes. I think it was like less than two.
Yeah.
I was going really fast. I was feeling 100%. Like I was pushing 400 watts like it was nothing.
Mm,
It was really, really easy.
yeah.
But yeah, because I did everything. I had bicarbonate, I
Yeah,
had
yeah, yeah.
caffeine, adrenaline, everything. But yeah, it happens. It's part of the game.
Sadly, yes.
Could have been way, 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 way worse than that.
Especially at that speed.
Yeah, like I was very lucky. It was only the finger. Like imagine it could have been clavicules, knees,
Mm.
head,
Yeah,
spine.
especially the head and the back. But I mean,
Because I didn't go like Poggi today. I
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
You
didn't.
smashed onto something.
Yeah,
Mm,
I just went full gas into
mm.
a barrier.
Well, I mean, when I was with Jorge, when we knew about you, and he has always said, when you break your collarbone, it's really painful, but it's 3 weeks and you're done, and you'll have to be 3 months. He told us of
Yeah,
it's more because in the finger you just lose a lot of strength when you're breaking. Uh,
it will be like 2 months as I went to the doctor
okay, so
recently.
yeah. I mean,
Uh,
the good thing is that you can train indoors. It's not a good thing, but
that's still questionable because I went on the turbo yesterday, no, 2 days ago and 3 days ago, and I have a lot of pain because I cannot put my hand on the handlebar.
okay. My
So
and from the scratches, do you feel any pain? Why?
now it's better,
Okay.
but yeah, the first days
Yeah, it's
my hip was
when you need to clean them.
I I couldn't move because
Mm.
of the hip in the bed. I couldn't roll.
Mm. And then you
But
wake up and everything's sticked to the
yeah,
clothes.
yeah,
Oh, that's the worst
the
part.
clothes and to the sheets
Yeah,
and
yeah, it's everything. It's a bloodbath.
but now I at least I can move in the bed. I can sleep on the other side and
And how do you feel mentally?
mentally it's been tough. I've been reconsidering my entire season.
Hmm.
Um, I don't expect anything for this season, to be honest, anymore. Uh, but when I finish with the healing process, I'll go on the bike, train.
Yeah.
I'll see how I feel, how I can recover everything in 1 month.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's possible, but that can also be a challenge we can
Hmm.
discuss. Like gaining as much fitness as possible in 1 month,
Hmm.
and try to have a good race with that in the Catalan champs.
Yeah.
And 'cause
Um.
being such a short effort, I'll focus just on that,
Okay.
not building
Yeah.
that much base or
Well, you will now specialize more in the TT, right? It's
yeah.
not an overall fitness.
And I also try well when I can do turbo again
What
because
do you?
I
What's turbo?
Rodillo
Oh, you call that
trainer.
turbo?
Yes.
Okay. I was
So
like when we were speaking about on the WhatsApp, Jorge was saying, "Así que turbo." I'm like,
yeah.
what is it?
So when I get back on the trainer, I'll start. I already thought about raising
Hmm.
my TT handlebar and stay in the
Mm-hmm.
in the TT position and train like that
Mm-hmm.
because that would be easier.
Comfort and
Yeah, for comfort because I can lean my weight on the elbow. So that would be the first step after I heal the other injury that I have. And
other scratches, you mean?
no, that because I did trainer
Yes?
and I did only up. I didn't reach the
Okay.
handlebar for 1.5 hours. It affected my soft tissues
Hostia.
like really bad. Yeah. and I have an inflammation. I have to wait for,
Hostia puta.
yeah,
Joder,
like really bad
joder.
inflammation. That hurt when I sit. Now it's better. It's already 2 days, and
Mm.
I think tomorrow I can try to do some trainer. But yeah, it was because I was basically one
Yeah.
and a half hours of standing
Mhm.
up, which
Not good.
no, because you're leaning
Yeah, yeah, of course.
your weight on
And the
the
position, it's not made for that.
no. Yeah. So I'll try to use the TT bike instead of the road bike
Mhm.
and stay in the aero bars. I think that's manageable.
Yeah, I mean, if you just lift, I was gonna ask if you plan on maybe adding something so that you can just let the hand like that, or just lean in a way that you don't have to put the weight on the hand. But
Yeah,
I think
I'll
it's
just
like the best solution.
I'll just raise everything on the TT,
Mm.
the most comfortable Ironman position, and just go with that. Uh, but yeah, that's the plan. I don't have any expectation, and I think that's healthier, and I'll see how it goes from there.
Because do you still have chances to be in Australia?
Yeah, if I go to a race where I can,
Okay, you still need to classify, right?
yeah,
Hmm.
in Perpignan I cannot compete,
No, of course not.
and even if I get my casts out until then, I don't have the fitness or the ability
Yeah.
to, like my finger will still be healing.
Mm. No, there's no rush.
So I'll try maybe in the summer. There are some races in Austria as well.
Okay.
Why not?
Yeah, your girlfriend is gonna be really happy.
Yeah,
Gonna
there's
travel.
one really nice TT around the lake, from what
Okay.
I've heard, and it's flat. Not necessarily for me, but
No, but just to be able to classify or even just find another challenge.
yeah. But I'm reconsidering Australia as well, so it's not.
Okay, good. Well, decent. I mean, what can I say?
Yeah, it's part of the journey.
Hmm.
Like reconsidering your goals, it's part of the journey. It's what you have to do. If I don't have enough fitness or it doesn't, I cannot train enough, maybe it's not worth doing it. Maybe, yeah, of course, I can do it for fun, but not setting like a goal or
Mm,
a certain speed like I had in mind for this
yeah,
event, or yeah.
but it sucks. So yeah, we won't have an update from your week for quite a bit, aside from the healing process.
Maybe if I start from tomorrow, the trainer, or from Monday,
Hmm.
I'll like if I can do trainer comfortably, I will do a really nice training plan on
Okay.
8 to 12 hours per week on how to get like really strong in.
Do you think you'll sustain these 8 to 12 hours indoors?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Like I did that in heat.
Yeah, but you were still able to go out just to
Yeah,
do
but
your.
I have no choice. So,
Yeah, that's like,
and I'll get the motivation.
yeah, for sure.
Like the first day I started the trainer, I was already, come on, I can turn things around. So
Muy bien.
if that comes back, but I think it was a good lesson for myself
Mm-hmm.
in terms of me taking risks. I think I went harder than I should in terms of speed, and that's not me usually. I usually go like really safe. I never take chances. But this time I was like, ah, let's see how is it
Mm-hmm.
going full gas in a corner because it's just one. Come on, it's just one. Just go full gas. That was enough.
Maybe it's just a bad set of things that just aligned
Yeah,
that day. Maybe if just I don't know, some
but
some slight thing had been different, but
it's a good lesson for me. I know that it's not worth it. It like
No.
probably I could have won just not going that hard. I just had a goal in mind, and
Hmm.
yeah, I was tunnel vision, only seeing that.
Hmm. Shit happens,
Yeah,
sadly. But yeah, best of luck on your recovery. It will be a bit strange not to see you on the bike outdoors
yeah.
for a bit.
But I already split my recovery in in like 2 weeks, that type of um let's say m- micro weeks or something like that, like a plan. So it's easier in my mind to go over the weeks,
Okay.
because like it's already 1 week.
Yeah.
I have two more until I take out the cast, and then I have one or two more with a smaller cast.
Hmm.
That's only for the
1 week.
finger,
Okay.
so that helps me
Hmm.
go easier through
Great.
the process.
Yeah, and I'm sure that the fact that despite it being indoor, you'll still be able to ride a bit. That will also help you.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, in the
I
end,
hope so.
well, it's just to move, like just
Yeah,
otherwise you'll get bored of walking and walking and walking.
yeah, and working as well.
Yeah, you need to somehow be able to do something else.
But I'm still doing bike fits. I'm still doing
If
the
you
aero testing.
if you can, that's perfect.
Yeah,
But I mean,
it's just it will take a bit longer. That's it.
well, no, like for us that we just either work or train and then or spend time with our girlfriends because otherwise there is no more time. When you have to take one of these big things from your week, you feel like in the sofa, what am I going to do now? I have so much time.
Well, lucky for me, I have a long list of things I
Mm.
have to do that were in a queue. So now I already started to take them out from the list. So hmm, it's not that bad.
No, no, it's just time. The time it takes, and the pain, which
Yeah,
is the worst part, I'd say.
yeah, but the pain is way better now. The first days were really bad, but now it's fine. It's manageable.
Mm. I mean, we spoke about this in the last episode that, and I remember I was saying you sometimes need to get injured to see that you need to stop and everything, and you crash. But yeah, it is what it is. From your coach perspective, do you have any idea, anything that you would say if I were in your position? Like, how would you help the athlete in these situations?
I would tell you that uh, yeah, you will lose fitness, but it's really important what we can do to keep as much as possible. And then from the point where we are at the end of the healing process, uh, how fast we can recover everything that we lost. Because it's like the people call it in stock trading, to cut your costs.
Mm.
That's what you have to do. Like I was at the peak of like one of the peaks of my season.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'll drop quite a bit. But I'll try to lower as much as possible this descending.
Yes. And in the motivation part, do you have any tips or things that you would like give the athlete? It's probably the hardest part, I'd say.
Like every motivation phase has certain phases you have to go through.
Mm.
In the beginning, you're in pain. You don't care about anything else, just to be healthy. And but after things get better and you feel a bit better, then you think about, I lost my helmet, I broke the handlebar or
Mm.
whatever. Then you fix those things as well, and then you're like,
Yeah.
but I cannot really ride my bike. I think if you are already here in, I would like to ride my bike, I think you're good enough. Like, you're in a good position. You're healthy. You have a bike probably already fixed. Uh, you're thinking of training, which means
Yeah.
motivation is there,
Yes.
but you cannot train
Hmm.
because of certain aspects. Uh, and then when you start, you will be motivated to
Yes,
gain everything back.
for sure. And you'll most likely be a bit fresher, so
Yeah,
despite losing a bit, you
and
will
it,
also be able to do a bit more.
like I always tell you guys, it's way easier to gain the fitness that you had
Mm.
than pushing your current one.
Yes.
I was already pushing my fitness.
Mm.
So maybe I'm not dropping that much in terms
Mm.
of fitness by the end of the healing process.
Have you had any other injuries? I think we've never spoken of that on the bike related.
I had an acromial clavicular tendon.
That's from a crash as well.
Yeah, from a crash a few years back, where I had to stay like I don't remember, maybe 1 month of the bike. I had some ankle issues
Mm.
because of some crashes
Mm.
where I twisted my
Mm.
ankle. And the crash from Walter,
Yeah, which
which,
took you like 1 week.
yeah, that was easy. It was just,
Well, it was the concussion
yeah,
and
and the ligament that was a
mm,
bit stretched. But other than that, no. Like, this is my biggest.
okay.
Like, the doctor in Portugal, he was like, you're cycling for that much time and it's your first fracture. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, I think you're not going fast enough.
Yeah, actually, I've I've been quite lucky in that sense. I mean, the last crash I had, well, from all the crashes I've had, I've not had any issue aside from bike things and scratches, but because the clothes that we wear are just a second layer of skin, it's nothing. And actually, well, I had an inflammation to the knee twice last year. Well, one was December of 2 years ago, and last year, which was the longest. And there I learned that, yeah, ligaments take a lot of time to recover, especially inflammations, and you need to take as much care as possible. But aside from that, the crashes have just been scratches, paying a lot of money, and then just back, which I think that, yeah, hopefully will stay like that.
But what about your ligament? How did you go over the injury?
So the first time it happened, um, the first thing I did was I, because it was a strange feeling, I just rechecked my bike fit. It turned out to be that most of the time that I was on the bike, I was leaning way too much forward, so that my knees, at the highest point,
Yeah,
they were like this.
okay.
So over compressing, or I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, your knee angle was really
Like
close at the top of the
yeah, so it
pedestal.
was nearly over my hip.
Okay.
And when I was pushing down, I wasn't pushing in the correct direction. So I was like more of a diagonal, but at some sort straight. And that was the idea of the bike fitter, that maybe I was just somehow stressing the ligament in a way that it wasn't supposed to, because if I was doing also a lot of training. It was just after I did 30 hours in a week,
You did actually like 20 hours
28.
in 3 days.
Yes. And no, but that was the second one.
Ah,
My
yes,
first one,
true.
it was after a 30-hour week, and I wasn't used to that yet. So I did the bike fit, rested for a week, and the pain was gone. But I think that the the injury was not gone. It was just
No.
the pain
Yeah,
because
true.
3 months after, and I had not felt the pain. I was like, okay, I feel healed. But then after on the bike packing thing, yeah, I did a lot of hours for only 3 days, but because the first one was like 9.5, second one was five something, and the third one nearly seven. I think that my knee was just waiting for a day to just here's the pain because I did the 3 days,
Yeah.
no pain. I was feeling really good. I rested on Monday. I went on Tuesday on the bike and I was like, it was really painful. I said, just no bike. And this time I tried resting 1 week again. It didn't work out. And I decided, okay, I just need to go and get it checked. So I did a scan and it was like a really bad inflammation, but the only way I could recover was from just resting. And I was going 3 times to the physio to do treatment in a specific treatment that was just basically a stressing
Yeah,
no,
electrostimulation.
it was it's the machine is called Indiva. So and it basically makes like an electric impulse so that the white cells go to that area.
Okay.
And that did help me, but I was also training because the physio told me not to stop training because I need to get my knee with blood, so the blood will flow through the knee. But I was doing like 30 minutes at 160. Then and
That's
that
the
was
idea
the
of the
workout of the
recovery.
yeah, so just really slow, so basically nothing. And the only way I had to like I was having to pedal in a bit of pain, but the pain went away. So slowly I was not increasing anything, not the time, not the watts, not anything, just keep moving. stopped walking as well because walking was the most painful thing, especially when I was like descending the stairs. When I had my left knee on the back, it was the point at which the
Yeah.
ligament was the most stressed, and that was really bad. So yeah, 1 month and a half, which I also took the opportunity to do heat acclimation, and yeah, I just got back. But it was since then after a really long week, like when we went to the Pyrenees last summer, it's always on my mind, on the back of my mind, like how's the knee, how's the knee, how's the knee. I go down the stairs and I check, like I put pressure, like doing like a Bulgarian squat, and I force myself, like the left arm, I just try to push as much as possible down, like pressing it down to see if it's in pain. And when I really doing all my effort, like all my strength, and I'm like, okay, there's no pain, then I'm like, okay, chill.
You know what it can help with this stress on your knee, on your ligament? A shorter crank.
Okay, so maybe
That
I'll end up
could help.
getting the 165.
That could help
Hmm.
on releasing some of the tension on the,
I just think the issue was that the knee wasn't healed,
yeah, for
and
sure.
it somehow the inflammation just reduced,
But it
and
didn't heal.
then it just came back. I
Yeah.
remember that to one osteopathist that I was going, she explained me how could I evaluate the knee if there was a ligament that was inflamed. So basically, the bone of the knee, the one that's at the top, what's the name of it?
Uh, the rotula?
Yes, if you move it,
Yeah.
it should be able to move without feeling any friction. If you move it and you feel that there's a friction, it could be, I'm not saying that this is not medical advice, but in my case, knowing that I had that inflammation, it was like the reason because the inflammation was pushing my rotula upward, and whenever that was hitting the ligament, which it shouldn't, or there should be no friction, then it was you would feel the ligament just and every day I was waking up, I was moving my rotula. I was like, yeah, it's still friction, so it's the same.
Oh, that's cool
Yeah, it was
to
a cool
know.
trick. It was a cool trick, and but also on the physio I was going, they were doing me like a small scan where they could see the inflammation, and it was going away. It was not that the pain was going away, but you would also see the inflammation reducing. But the good thing is that I did not take any pills, which is usually my way to go. That was fine. No pills, no.
Usually the pills don't really help with
Yeah, but
with
like
the cause itself,
mm,
but rather than the,
the pain.
yeah, it can reduce a bit the inflammation,
Mm.
but it will not treat it.
Yeah, no. Throughout the day, it wasn't painful. It was just I live in a flat that has two floors, so every time I was going up or down, it was the knee it hurts. But yeah, nothing. It was just for me. It was the biggest, a really important inflection point. I changed my mindset towards injuries. On the one side, to do as much as possible to prevent them, and on the other side, just no rush with the injury.
Yeah,
It
that's really
it needs
important.
to it need, especially if it's something that's muscular or ligament wise or something that's not as a bone, that a bones need a time, and after that time, that's it. But something that's not really as much strict on a time span, you just need to go by feelings or by doing small scans and seeing, okay, this is improving, it's not improving. You just need to embrace that it's not gonna go well. So, but yeah, I think it's from the group. I think I'm the
The least
yeah the least
affected by
affected.
injuries, yeah. The least of time because of
Yeah,
injuries. Yeah.
and also like the last crash I had, I think it was a bit when you were saying it that you took a bit too much of risks. I think I paid the same. I made the same mistake. It was starting to rain down Los Angeles, and I was like, "Ah, just try to go home as fast as possible." But my mind should be just try to go home as
Yeah.
safe as possible. Like I just need to arrive home. I'm gonna get wet. But then I got wet, cold, and injured.
Yeah.
So really bad. Yeah, injuries are tough, but it's part of the game. It's part of being an athlete. There isn't any sport in which you cannot get injured. So yeah, just hopefully that none of our listeners gets injured in the meantime.
Not during the podcast, at least.
Yeah, that would be a strange case.
Well, if you're on an unstable trainer on some rollers, for example, and you're
Yeah, that
watching
could
the
be.
Wattstock, it could
That could be
happen, eh?
could happen. All right, first race of the week. You've been able to see the entire race. I've only seen the last 25Ks.
I had the time and
Yes,
opportunity to see the
yes.
entire race, actually.
Do you wanna do a small walkthrough? I mean, the only bad thing about classic races is that really long races. Uh,
Yeah, but the broadcast starts probably halfway,
yeah,
so you don't have to watch it from the beginning.
from what I saw, it was a decent day, right? It was an
Yeah, really good day in terms of weather. Uh, Low winds as well.
hmm
So you couldn't really make a difference on the flat sections to attack on some sides because of the crosswinds. Um, so yeah, the differences were made on the climbs in the gravel sectors, just like always in Strade-Bianche.
yeah.
I think it was a really nice race, and unfortunately to say it, it made it more interesting because of Pogacar's crash. Uh,
He just basically split on a turn,
yeah,
right?
but you could see him from the beginning. So when he attacked, he had attacked at the same place as last year,
hmm
but this time Pidcock could stay in his wheel,
Okay,
and then he formed like a breakaway. And a few minutes later, a guy from Ineos came uh, with them.
okay,
So they basically went, the three of them, but only Pitcock and Poggi were working
okay,
together. And you could see Poggi every time on the descents, he was taking the lead,
hmm
and he was like really pushing on the descents because he was like, ah, Pitcock is in the
yeah,
back. I'm not gonna let him in front. I'm not gonna show him that.
yeah. I'm
Uh,
scared.
yeah. So he was going like you could see every descent, even on the gravel ones. He was going full gas, and in one of the corners, which was actually not that hard of a corner, but he took a bit of the inside of the line. He didn't went uh, wide enough. You could see he was on the middle of
Middle,
the
yes.
in the middle of the lane, and Pitcock was
Yeah.
already taking the race line inside, and he just slipped because he was
Yeah.
going too fast. He didn't touch the brakes. But what was interesting is that you could see he was
Yes.
gripping the handlebar,
Yes.
and he only left the handlebar when he hit the ground.
Yeah.
And that's why he didn't have any major injuries.
Yeah,
And
that's
then he rolled
yeah.
in the,
And how did he catch them? He just went full gas or
yeah.
damn.
But also Tom was waiting for him.
Do you think he did that because he knew he couldn't win?
I think he knew he cannot do a
TT.
50-kilometer TT.
Okay. And then just Poggi. Why I think that on pro cyclings they were saying that the attack was at 15K to go.
Yeah, it was on the last gravel big section, which was the one before the last one, which had like 2.5K with climbing and some parts with 15%. So he just went full gas.
Okay.
Pitcock was trying to stay in his wheel. He looked back, he saw Tom, he was hanging, and he went harder than that. And he just uh, yeah, he just managed to do a gap, and he went full
And
TT mode from
for
there.
the last part that I was viewing it, he was gaining time on Pitcock.
Yeah,
Like he went from 30 seconds to a minute and something.
you could see him on the small bits of climbing. He was going full gas,
Yeah, and
like he
Pitcock was
was
suffering a bit.
setting a PR on
Yeah, yeah.
every climb for sure. But what's also interesting is that uh, yeah, maybe Pitcock could have done a difference if he would have pushed more on the descent, especially on the gravel sectors.
Do you think that if Pitcock kept the pace once Poggi crashed, he would have
No,
been no?
nah, he was too strong.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Pitcock is not the best time trialist,
No,
even on this type of courses, like just rolling
yeah.
climbs. But but yeah, we'll see what Pitcock has to say for the rest of the classics he's participating in.
But imagine Pitcock did when he won his last race like a few weeks back.
In the Lula Tour.
Yes, he did like 7.5 watt per kilo for 8 minutes.
Mm.
So imagine how much Poggi was pushing
Yeah, but
on the small bits because
he beat Cookie. How what's his weight? Like 55? Or
I think it's less than that. It's like 53, 54.
yeah, on the flats with Poggy's power, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, there's
yeah,
nothing that he
true.
can do.
Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't a especially flat race, but
but he got dropped on
yeah,
climb, and he's like a mountain biker.
yeah, but Poggy,
Yeah, true.
a mountain biker after 250 Ks, 150,
Yeah,
160.
I think that was the biggest difference actually, not necessarily the raw power
Mm.
or the watt per kilo, but like doing that after 200K.
Yeah, in the end, you're fighting someone who attacks at 100K to go, like a time trialist with uh, an insane amount of power.
Yeah, he's one of the best time trialists in the
So,
world. And what was really funny, so the last 50K,
mhm.
they did like a loop and came back on the same road where Poggy crashed.
Okay,
So when he went again in the corner, he was like,
he did it right.
no, he was like, ah, I cannot believe I crashed
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Yeah, that was funny. But I think he was a bit also lucky because there was like a thing on the side of the road, and if he would have hit that, that would have been really bad.
I mean, he was looking with scratches, but it didn't seem like the worst.
No, he only had road rash. Well, that's painful, but
Yeah, it
nothing
is, but
broken.
it's nothing. I'm looking at the finished picture, and if you don't look at his shoulder, you don't see anything.
And I have to admire Tom's really, really good handling skills. Like he was behind Poggi when Poggi crashed,
Mm.
and he just went
Yeah.
inside of the corner and while the guy from Ineos, he was like he braked and then he went full gas into with Poggi. And he was behind, like he had more gap, so he
Yeah.
had more
More
reaction
time,
time.
yes.
So kudos to Pidcock for being one of the best descenders. Like I, I don't think 99% of the I think
Yeah, would
99%
have
of the
crashed
World Tour riders would have crashed
with Poggi, yes.
because at the end of the day, Poggi is descending like really
Mm.
good. At least top 5 in the world
Yeah, but it's not the first time that he crashes like that. I remember in 2023 tour or
with Jonas.
20 where with Jonas, he
Yeah.
crashed again in a very strange, like maybe for taking too much risks.
Yeah, he was in front
Hmm. So yeah, we'll see. But he's looking really nice on the world champs.
in white.
Yeah, I think he's the only one who should be allowed to wear white. Even though I hate white bibs,
At the end of the race, he
it
was
was that
like brown.
brown.
Yeah,
You need to, there's no way of cleaning that.
yeah,
If it had been us, like we would have to ride white and brown.
yeah. Like, look, I just got my new shoes
Yes.
and it was only 2 days. Yeah,
Yeah.
2 days, it's already all scratched up. And yeah,
Sucks. So yeah, I'm really happy to see Poggi being able to sustain the level. I was a bit skeptical. And if he still has some competition like Pitcock or any other guy that can still make the race harder for him, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, I'm not saying that you are able to win, but just not giving you like a free win.
yeah,
Being able to not until the last moment that you still have like 3 climbs to go, like in Strade, and you still need to go hard because you've got one guy that's chasing you and chasing you and chasing you. Like in last years, he was alone. Like nobody was chasing him.
yeah. But
And
he's the first rider to win Strade-Bianche back to back.
and
So
he's one of well, he has 3 Strade Bianches already, and if he was to win next year's Strade Bianche, he would be the rider with the most Strade Bianches in history.
he will also get a segment, a gravel segment named after him after this
Yeah,
race.
he would need an entire race after him.
Yeah, true.
Now we've got Paris-Nice. I don't know if Jonas is.
It's Paris-Nice, the next one.
Yes. Nah, actually, I think this is the men's calendar. Yeah, 9th. So tomorrow it's starting the Paris-Nice. And we've got Jonas and I don't know from other. Yeah, Jonas Jorgensen is going there as well. Joao Almeida. Magnotti is also going there. He's been training in Girona
Yeah.
these last weeks. Oh, I was this was it Wednesday? No, Thursday that I went alone to have a coffee ride, and I just saw one guy from UAE, just one of the sexiest positions I've seen on a TT, and he like you couldn't see his helmet. He was well fully equipped. He was not wearing a disc wheel, but he was on like the Colnago TT and with the skin suit and the TT helmet. I was like, if I can I follow him? No, I have to go easy. But
He had the entire kit
yeah,
with helmet and
yes, he did like the Hinkapai loop and just a bit more. But yeah, it was really nice to see his position, and I mean he's a good time trialist. So so yeah, like having him train here, Also, I've told you that now that we're speaking about descendings, one day when we were doing VO2 in the back of Los Angeles, he just went like boom, like one of the fastest guys I've seen descending on a wet surface. It was one of the you know that there are some turns which not until it's summer that they are always wet.
Yeah.
He just went like boom. I was just hearing the wheels like zoom. I'm like, yeah, see you.
Adeo.
Yes. It's insane. So I think this is the best part of the journey of seeing
Yeah.
pros train with you, and just please just don't mess with them. Just let them train. I think that's important, and some people just try to follow them, but just don't let
Yeah.
them train. So yeah, Paris-Nice it's upcoming. Um, it will be the second time we see Jonas this season.
Yeah. After Vuelta,
Algarve,
yes, where he had 150 millimeter cranks.
yeah,
Everybody's talking about that.
and everybody will start buying 150 cranks, but
There are no 150 cranks
yeah, of course there are
in
not.
Quark. There are some brands that are doing, but
There is this. I think I sent you the SRAM cranks that they have this small. You can basically where you put the pedal, it's like a bigger hole, and you simply move a piece. You rotate the piece, and the piece just
yeah,
depending on the position it is. Then you have like 175,
yeah.
172 and a half, and 170. And I think like wow, this is really interesting.
Was that from the Watt Shop,
I don't
or
remember.
was it
I can't remember.
Rotor also does that?
Okay, but I thought like if you get ones that allow you to go from 165 to 170,
Yeah,
I think that is a
I think there's like a shim which you can
yeah,
turn.
that's the thing I'm
Yeah,
talking about for a TT. If you
for a
wanna
TT
test,
is
if you
really
wanna
nice,
test
and
different.
but you can buy different shims, and you can go from 170 to 145.
But in my case, like I would need to change the cranks
Yes.
because my no my pedals just take the entire whole of the Shimano cranks.
Yeah, but
I cannot put anything there.
it doesn't matter because you just you just switch the shim. The hole is the same for every pedal.
But how if you need to move the whole?
Yeah, but you move it
But
and
what
then
I'm saying is, I have this hole and my pedal also takes this amount of space.
yeah.
The hole would need to be bigger so that I could put the shim and then the pedal
No, because
inside.
the shim goes into the crank itself.
So that's why I'm saying I would need a different crank that allows that shim.
Ah, yeah, of
Yes.
course. Yeah. You need a different
Mm.
crank that allows you to do that. And the Watt Shop is doing that and Rotor as
Mhm.
well. Yeah, these two that I know about, which are I'm actually thinking of getting one for the TD
Mhm.
to get a 155. I read a really nice book about
Yes, you
bike
told me.
fitting. I want to try 155 for my that was the recommendation in the book for my height. But yeah,
Hey,
we'll see.
when there's a team time trial in Paris-Nice, the third stage.
Yeah,
Yep, and it's actually not a climb stage. I don't know why the parkour says it's rolling. It's just like it's very flat. So yeah, 30K, that would be interesting.
nice.
Yep.
So we could see Jumbo full gas.
Yes. I think they are the best team for these the team time trials. They are insane. Muy bien. Let me see Jumbo's team. Well, they've got Campenarts. I don't know if Wood is going.
Yeah, good TT team. Yeah,
Let me check the star list
maybe a bit better than UAE in terms of TT.
for the TTs. I have to say so. I mean, UAE is only going with McNulty, who has a really strong, well, Niels Pollitt, but he's not, he's an, the best for his TT. Like, he's got really good watts, but
But Almeida is also strong on the
yeah,
TT.
well, he's,
But yeah, he's not Van Aert
no, no. No, but
or Campenart.
You boys only going with Eduardo Affini with like special skills, and for the rest of the teams, yeah. yeah, let's wrap it up for today's episode. I hope you've enjoyed today's. It's been a We'll be back on schedule. I know I told last episode that we were gonna do a remote session, but things changed. Yeah, from next week we'll do another regular podcast again, and whenever we have time, we'll record the second episode of the Training Basic series. So yeah, please like and subscribe if you have the time to do so. Everything will help us a lot in keeping growing and getting more attention. So yeah, until
And
next week.
any advice that you guys have?
Feedback, questions.
Yeah.
We'll do a Q&A for the 10th episode. I
Yeah,
think it's a
that,
good mark.
yeah.
So yeah, just our socials are on the description. You also have our Strava, which will not be as active as lately as on Alex's side, but
I might do trainer.
yeah, but really boring. No, but yeah, just yeah. Until next time. Theo.
Adeu.